Good afternoon. It is June the 18th, 2020. This is the Service Hero Show. 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter, and yes, our service hero of the day is Michelle Noel. Michelle Noel and I met a couple years ago now in Phoenix. We were actually on a panel together at an event that I, at the last minute, was one of the invitees of the panel. Afterwards, we had an opportunity to visit, and I'll tell you that I have, from that point on, I have had a friend, someone that has supported my causes, and I've right immediately that day she became a service hero. So yes, this is a second time around, but she's up to a lot of stuff, and she has just served our community of Chemo Buddies for Life in this last week. So I want to say, Michelle Noel, thank you for being here today.
Oh, you're so welcome. I adore you.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual. And we have the ambassador of the chat of Chemo Buddies for Life, Helene Wilson. Helene, thank you for being here with us. I'm so glad you found us. For anybody that's watching on Facebook, we have taken ownership of our actual page for the show. And so it's, I'm really excited about it. We have a whole new look going on. And today was the very first day, Michelle, that we actually had an intro. What'd you think?
I think that was flipping fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. We're growing up. Service Heroes is growing up. And it's because of people like you. People like you that have a passion, have a purpose, have a reason to get out there and make a difference. And the stories continue to come. And we got to tell them, especially right now, don't you think?
Absolutely. Especially now. We've got so many things going on and on so many levels to bring people together. I mean, I think that more so now than ever is to create that unity versus separation. Absolutely.
You said that so well, and we're going to go over a little bit. We're going to kind of catch people up to what it was that when I first met you, you were doing, and now what you have been called to do. You really have taken a shift, and you are implementing exactly what we're talking about right now. You are going to be out there and you are making the action steps. No dust is settling on Michelle right now at all. I mean, even in the last few days, I had coffee with you, I don't know, not even a week ago, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to do these things. You've done them.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. So, when we met, I had this picture blast from the past. There we are.
Oh, super cute.
Yes, we were there in Phoenix, and I, of course, was there to talk about Chemo Buddies for Life. And you actually, that's your neck of the woods, and you're a business woman that has now kind of passed the torch to the next generation within your business,
right?
So that you can be doing passion projects now. What is it that you were doing back then?
So realtor. So been a realtor since 2004 and a lender for 30 years. So that's been my life and blood, and 110% energy and effort and focus and make it happen, get it done mindset, and represented families all across the valley. Even a couple times in Tucson, which is a 2.5-hour drive.
Especially in your area, that's big, because in my area that might be around the corner, but in your area that's a big deal.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, my passion has been basically inspire others to action, and I love the the vehicle to do that through real estate, because I would take an opportunity and focus on families and individuals that didn't think that they were in a position to buy. I loved working with a first-time home buyer or someone who didn't think that they could buy. Oh gosh, yeah, I love those pictures. That was my cause marketing, and it wasn't even considered to be marketing. It was really just speaking to my heart and wanting to make an impact to our local service folks in our community, which those are teachers right there. And I was able to, that check right there went, she is a, God, I can't speak right now, professor at one of the local colleges here. And because I considered her a hero within our community as a teacher, I ended up taking a portion of my proceeds and contributing that to her cause, her passion of cause. And so that money actually went to Ruta. She's from Kenya. So that money went there. That was what was her passion and her focus. So that helped contribute to the pastor who was building schools out there for the children, and contributing to that degree. And then this other family, they're amazing as well. And again, just really appreciated him and recognized him and his being a teacher, and contributed to his cause and what was near and dear to him. So that's just a couple of examples of where I was able to put that working together, we make a difference focus, basically. Yeah.
And and I love that, because you're working together. So you were doing a few different things in wrapping that period up. Is that you were helping, like you said, the first time home buyers, and that was sometimes that was a longer play, because it was an educational piece that you're really into, not just serving. You're into serving and helping, like the long term, in that if they had a credit issue, maybe help with education, helping them to get their credit score up so that they then understood, helping them to come up with the ideas of how can they come up with the down payment, how could they do all the different things that they needed to do to be able to secure some kind of a home investment. And then on top of it, you're doing that, and then on top of it, you are giving a portion to the Heroes program within the real estate world. And for anybody that doesn't understand that program, that's a really good program. I appreciate anybody that is a salesperson, if you will. It's a commissioned salesperson that is a real estate agent, and you may go for a while. I'm not Michelle, but but there are some that might go for a while, but they believe enough in it. They believe in giving back, and whenever that is the case, I always believe that everyone is well served. There is just, it goes back to the whole idea of service heroes. And so that's not all you were doing back then.
No, not. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was, I guess my passion is just a couple of things. So, I'm big on, I have a soft spot for children. I really do. And then you couple that with homelessness, right? Mm-hmm. And I was brought up in some humbled, environments, and I know what it was like, to have to be in that kind of a situation, as far as a child, right? And it's just an interesting thing. I actually ended up sending you a link, but I don't think you got a chance to open it. But I put it on this web page or business page in Facebook that I had.
I'll go grab it while you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it was funny because I was did the videos. There's 2 videos that I created, and it had to do with basically focusing on making an impact within our communities and helping children. And I think that one was Be the Difference, and one was just focusing on our children. And it had to do with children's literature exercise. I had to write an ethos. I had put together a commercial, an ethos and pathos, which was emotional and just, black and white, so to speak, with no emotion attached to it. And I created 2 separate videos to deliver the same message. And the interesting thing is that it actually is the core of my passion, which is making an impact with children and families that have those children. And it goes right into what the crisis is, which is 1 out of 4 children are going to bed starving. Well, that was before what we got going on right now with our COVID situation and 30 million families that have lost their jobs. So it just really, it just really is a big thing. So I was part of a philanthropy committee. I was designated as to be in charge of that, and I was part of a women's group, PEO, which is an international group. But we had a local chapter over in Gilbert, and they asked me, pick a cause that we can adopt, and we ended up picking the House of Refuge. And with picking up the House of Refuge, my beautiful sisters out of my women's group, they wanted to make these toiletry bags that were handmade, beautiful, sewing and this beautiful fabric, just a beautiful project. And then to fill those toiletry bags up with toiletry items, right? Mm-hmm. And having gone through the hard times. Matter of fact, when the 2007 crisis happened through 2009, I was also impacted there. And with that being said, which speaks to me even with the homeowners, helping families get into homeownership, because I had my 30-year mortgage, background to be able to educate and give guidance and direct people to getting back into buying a home or making that dream come true for them. So, but going back to the philanthropy group, we skill sets get, when we go through challenges, I feel like skill sets gets picked up, right? For us to get past and move forward and never let us be a victim of the circumstances, right? I always feel like, we are where we are, and what can we do about it? And if you ask those kind of questions versus going into despair, your brain is like a level of it's always going to find the answer. So if you come from despair and I'm not going to make it or this, well, guess what? Your brain is going to deliver exactly what you're asking for. But if you ask the right questions, then you get solutions that start coming to you, or guidance. I feel like God, I'm very Christian oriented, and that could look like anything for anybody, right? No matter what the religion is. But I always feel like guidance is always there if you ask the right questions, right? And in my exploration, in my journey, I was able to pick up the opportunity how to learn how to coupon. And, so now circle back around in 2016, almost 10 years later, I was able to create this army of women. It was so flippin' amazing, and teach them how to coupon, because they originally were going to want to put, the little mini shampoos from hotels in these toiletry bags. I mean, these things were like this big. And knowing what I knew, I was able, when my couponing days, when we had to as a family, was pick up shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes, feminine products, food items. It was just, it was amazing. And we were able to create a pantry, and then we were able to, as a family, our surplus, we were taking it into the food banks, things of that nature. So then, I'm going into taking some college credit classes, and then I had to do this paper. And if anybody wants to look up on Facebook, it's called Impactful Couponers.
Yes, and I've got it pulled up now. So what I need to do, because I was trying to play with it while you were talking, and I have to pull the page up. So I'm going to pull it up, and
now click on the videos. The 2 videos that I just did. I've just uploaded them. Those are the ones that I did back in when I was doing some college credits in 2013. But it really speaks to what I'm talking about here, what is in my heart. What I really believe, that if we come together as a community, as a nation, and people just do little things, and you compound that into little things by small actions from a multitude of people, create a compound of wave, of a movement, of a way to impact communities within our backyard, right?
Right, absolutely. And in fact, okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take us down. Everybody will be able to see in a moment the page here. And then as you're looking at it, you'll see that I'm going to start the video that has that beautiful red car showing right now. So
now that one was the one who thinks that they don't have to worry about other people. They're already successful, and everybody's challenges are their own challenges, and they need to just manage it to themselves. This was the one that was a black and white, no emotion, but I feel it's a very powerful video. I think it says a lot in it. So
okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to share this now, and then we'll be right back. A few technical issues, guys. Give me a moment. We'll get this going. Okay, I'll get it going. That was an experience. I was watching it, but
here's the deal. Just bring up the page for a second because I want to show some pictures that are on there. That'll help put into perspective what I was talking about and even what I just posted. And anybody can go into that page. You should be able to find the group, and then I have to let you in. But it's called Impactful Couponers. And my cause, you know, in creating that is really looking at from a nationwide perspective. But you can get in there and play the two videos once I let you make a request to join. But we ended up collecting, let's see, there's some pictures. You see the 80 jars of ragu? So we did that from couponing. I was able to create the troops within my women's group and sent them out like a task force, you know, on a weekly basis. And we just were able to create, that was delivered to the pantry of the House of Refuge over in Mesa, Arizona. But then if you look at my verbiage, if you go up a little bit, and it says, I'm opening up this group for a nationwide effort, hoping to inspire others who can empower, contribute, take action within their communities. There's power in numbers. Small actions compounded can create waves of positive impact. Our country needs those of us who are inspired to take action now. Sharing my vision, my concerns, the ability that we have to make a difference. And then I was sharing the video that I created, Be the Difference. This was recorded back in 2012. And the focus is the concept here, which is honestly our nation's children. Because I had put it in there, it talks about Arizona children, but you know, I look at a nationwide effort here and a way for us to be able to fill up the food banks just by couponing. It's just by couponing. Absolutely just by couponing. And people just take, you know, go take their inserts that they currently get in their Sunday paper and be able to have an opportunity to pick up some things and then just go deliver it to your food bank. And you can do that with picking up, you know, even 3 newspapers. I don't know if everybody has a Dollar Tree in their backyard, but I do know out here if you pick up Sunday papers that have the coupon inserts, you can get 3 papers at a time, and then kind of what they call stockpiling, and create, you know, and then go to the store and pick up 3 of these things that might be on sale. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just one initiative, right?
Yeah, well, yes, because you're a busy lady, and yes, go to this page and
ask for permission. I'll let you in. Yeah, it's called Impactful Couponers on Facebook. And yeah, that's just one thing. And I had the opportunity to actually teach 5 families that signed up for the course. I was actually on site and actually taught them how to coupon.
So the whole family, like they learn.
Well, they had one representative that would come from
Okay.
each family, yeah, because
Uh-huh.
that House of Refuge actually supports 80 families. So they intentionally will bring in families that have children that are homeless, and they take them through a 2-year program, and they will help them get on their feet. I would encourage anybody and everybody to look in your community and find you know, causes like that and see how you can contribute. I mean, you can deliver domestic items, so that way these families that don't have a home, when they show up at the location that they're going to have housing, they have an opportunity where kids can pick out their own shoes, they can pick out their own clothes, they can pick out their furniture for their bedroom, and it's all gently used items. You know, we as a community can come together and take the things that we want to get rid of, like computers. I had this beautiful story. So my kids, when they were super little, I had this cause of a women's shelter here in Phoenix. And, you know, my kids were, you know, kids are, you know, when they get a lot given to them, right, which they were spoiled by, you know, grandparents, you know, they didn't want to let go of anything, right? And, you know, I had this whole purpose of recycling, right, and taking it to a cause that was passionate to me. Well, they were at this age that they were very much aware of, you know, hey, wait a second, you want to take this from me? And even if they played with it, right? So I thought, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. So I went down to the women's shelter in Phoenix, and I asked the director if my kids could have a tour. I'm actually going to get emotional when I think about that. So I had my kids with me, and she gladly, joyously took them on a tour. When we finished, oh my gosh, my daughter, my son, they were just like pulling stuff out of their room and saying, please take this to them. Please take this to them. And it was just amazing, that experience. I think that if we don't allow our children to have an opportunity to see the experiences of others, how can they have an opportunity to appreciate what they actually have?
Right. I absolutely agree with you 100%. In fact, we oftentimes, and not to say this in any kind of a way other than with love, it's that anybody that has had a family, anybody that has had the kids, you know, that have been growing up, that are in the United States, and you know, we've had it so good, even when we didn't know that we had it that good, compared to so many other areas of the world. And I remember one year myself that we were really struggling. I'll be honest, you know, young family. There had been some work issues, and we were really struggling. And it was Christmas time, and my kids, because we had had an experience that others were struggling at the same time, and they realized how good they actually had it at that. And so they did something very similar, and then anything that came that was new, they immediately gave it away. And I'll never forget it. And it's something that they remember to this day too. And people, actually friends, it was really interesting. Some of my friends had, oh, you know, that was a good learning experience. And some were like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? You did what? And it was like, I didn't do it. This was an opportunity for them to follow their hearts. And to this day, they, you know, some of them have their own kids now, and it's something they remember. And I will always remember that as one of the most incredible holidays that I'd ever had. And I want to take a moment right now. If anybody is watching this on the page, on the Tamara Hunter page, my personal page, please come over to the Tamara Hunter Service Heroes page here on Facebook, because we will not be seeing any comments you're making live. I have a feeling you may be making comments, but we cannot see them until after the show. So come and join us over at our new home that we're using. Okay, so Thank you for bringing that up, because I would love to see, and it may be that we'll see it in replay in unless you come over and join us now in this location. Um, Others that have had similar experiences, either where they've given or possibly it's a gift and that service when we're receiving also, because sometimes we need to be humble and open ourselves up to that. And so Michelle, you've had an amazing career. You've been so successful. You're very driven. You have an ability to just, whatever you decide to do, you do. You just do. You don't wait, you do. And so you decided, or you had an epiphany. You're like an awakening, and you made some huge decisions, right?
Yeah, my world is a lot different than what it was a year ago, for sure. It really is. And, I feel like I'm playing a bigger game. I want to play a bigger game. And I actually switched industries into basically living benefits. And it's just amazing timing. It just really is incredible. So now my passion, my passion is still the same, is how can I impact families, inspire people to take action, and help families, right? Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of challenges is that people, it's just crazy. I had a situation where I fought as a realtor to get, families into their homes, right? As far as like negotiations and being the one agent that was going to make it happen and get it done for them and doing all the right things. I've always never was not able to complete the perfect home. I always just went toe to toe and got it done, right? If it was meant to be, it was meant to be. And I believe in that as far as guidance, but I put a lot of energy. I was basically, the soldier to make it happen. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, but, life happens, and, I'm seeing, so COVID has really put things in perspective for a lot of families, and my heart goes out, my prayer goes out, prayers go out to everyone that have lost someone, or they've got families that are, in the hospitals and they're struggling, right? My heart goes out. And this thing is just massive, absolutely massive. And, families don't know about living benefits. And if they knew, with the insurance that they currently have that does not have living benefits, if they knew that something like this exists, their families would be protected and they could focus on healing. I know you have Chemo Buddies, and, I know that some of these products are out there for families that actually have not, even 5 years down the road, if they've been cancer-free, they have the opportunity to get this type of product. But it protects them on the traditional level, if they pass away, but so many levels. So if they were, diagnosed with terminal illness, they can't have it now, but if they were diagnosed with terminal illness in the future, or chronic or critical, that they could be looking anywhere from, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 100% of their life, their life insurance or face amount. And you take that, if someone has time, because, some of these carriers, they have a 2-year period and they'll give 100% of the face amount. And if you take some family that actually, an individual that's diagnosed with terminal illness and they have less than 24 months to live, that's 2 years. Mm-hmm. And they had $1 million policy. Time and money on your side, you have a lot more options. I know there's some carriers out there that will maybe do it within within 90 days, but that doesn't give somebody enough time to take action. And it certainly doesn't give them 100% either. Some of these carriers that I've seen, some of these policies that tout that they have living benefits. So I am truly on a crusade. I am so much on a crusade because I want to educate families. Mm-hmm. I do have a website that if anybody wanted to understand more about the living benefits piece of it, it's legacyliving.info. And they can go there, watch some of the videos, and get really an understanding. But the other piece to that is even the financial world. So it's just so crazy to me that, I got introduced to this business a year ago, and I've had my insurance license since 2007. So I'm not new to the industry, but but this cause is really passionate to me. I'm just telling you, it's super passionate because, you know, in the marketplace, you've got families that have worked 40 years or more, and all, you know, day in, day out, going to go do their business and go to work, and they put this money into a 401k, 403, an IRA, and then get decimated from the market impacts, right?
I want to make sure I've got it right. I'm not sure that I do.
No,
like
legacy living.
Living. Okay, so let me get that.
Yeah.
Okay, living.info. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Keep going.
But yeah, so they're getting decimated in the market. But they, you know, and they'll have financial advisors tell them, you know, no, you know, we got you covered. And, you know, so there's panic, there's reaction, there's all of that. And any clients that I have in the products that I'm representing, they have not lost one penny.
That's huge. That is,
and they're just experiencing growth. So there's information on that website about that too. And they could reach out to me on that page if they want me to do a private consultation. But I am on a nationwide crusade. And there's, you know, 30 million families that have been impacted with job losses, if not more. I think it might be up to closer to 40 million. But, you know, I'm even looking to help families and teach people that want to help me on this crusade, because we are in such a shortage of being able to get the word out. Only 2% of the families out there that have life insurance policies have this type of product. 2%. 98%, we're talking millions, 200 plus millions of families that don't even know this exists.
And why is that? Why do you think? Is it because there's not enough carriers that are offering?
No, there's carriers out there. There's actually, but you know, it's the right carrier. It's the right person with the right heart to put them in the right product, right? And be heart-led to educate and help the person understand. But I think, you know, here's the thing. I will say that mindset is a big thing. You know, when you think about someone sharing something with you, we automatically are in our world, and we kind of don't want anybody to interrupt our world, right? We're just kind of, we buffer it. We're like, no, I'm good, or we'll procrastinate, or I heard about something about that, or, you know, there's a lot of folks that I think, and I was one of them, you know, who wants to talk about, you know, just insurance in general, you know, but particularly when you're talking about protecting yourself, make yourself your own beneficiary, and give yourself an opportunity to focus on healing and not have to worry about your finances. Let the mortgage payments get paid. Let the utilities get paid. Let the food get on the table. But we don't think about that. We think about our own nest egg that we already have, and we think of it's not going to happen to us. But then when it does happen, it decimates the finances, because you might have a great medical insurance, but then think about the co-pays. Think about all of that goes on, and that just wipes out your whole nest egg. Not, you know, just completely.
So let me ask you a couple of questions here that I have, and I would love any questions while we're live. And I'm glad, Swampy, that you found us. So glad to see you. And I did get your message. I will contact you later today. And so, you know, I have to say that I have a lot of respect for this industry, because in truth, one of my heroes, my grandfather, back in the day, long ago, he actually did represent some insurance products that he believed in, and then he also then went and worked with other families that were having loss, and became a consultant for one of our mortuary area, you know, and that was something that a lot of people didn't want to do. It was like it had a stereo, you know, like, oh, how could you decide to do that? And his response was, because these people are in pain, they need someone that's going to understand, someone that will work with their wishes, someone that will respect them. And so he taught that there are ways of having, you know, there are a lot of people in some of these industries that, like, some people are like, oh no, I just don't even want to hear about this because this or that, and they have preconceived notions. However, when someone like my grandfather, who everybody respected, he did it, it opened a lot of people's eyes, like, oh, this may be a good thing. You are that kind of person, Michelle. You are that person.
Yeah.
Because
take people up from basically, I want to upgrade their current life insurance policy that they currently have.
Right.
And without, I mean, literally doing comparison and going, you would not believe that it's not that, if any of a cost is very minimal, but for an upgrade, it would be basically to having every 280 million families out there with flip phones.
Oh my goodness.
And upgrading them into a smartphone for the same price that they're paying for their plan.
Oh, wow.
Literally. And we're talking major impact. I mean, I have got stories to share that it's just it's devastating. You know, in my real estate world, like I said, I fought to get families into homes.
Right.
And, this woman, she was the primary major, she made close to $100,000 a year. She qualified for the mortgage. Her income did. And 3 years later, just dealing with medical issues, and she was not able to function, not able to work. And, I had to end up, their home went into foreclosure. They already played the bankruptcy card. And then they, were able to stay in the home a little bit longer. But then it was basically coming down to the wire where their home was going to get foreclosed on. Mm-hmm. And I was able to get the home sold 1 week prior to foreclosure date. But what happened during that whole year and a half? They weren't able to make payments, right? Well, derogatory credit. So now when I'm trying to help them getting into a home, they had this beautiful home that was 3,000 square foot, right? And now they're getting moved into a 1,500 square foot rental property that had nowhere near the elements that they had experienced as far as the quality of life. And then to take and have to pay 6 months in advance rent out of the little bit of money that they got. And then to see these two beautiful teenage daughters that they had being moved out of their neighborhood. This is what I'm talking about, people, is that, you think you got it covered. I say you don't. Like, I just say that it's really important to think about what would knowledge do. Knowledge, when you know that there's information out there and you have an opportunity to explore it, I just really encourage you to reach out to somebody and find out about what this is all about, and get clarity so you can protect. You don't want to lose everything you saved your whole life for and or your lifestyle.
Okay, I have a question. One of the questions, because you see a lot of the commercials, a lot of people have gotten involved with this, and then later they realize, oh, wait a minute, I did not like the end result. Is this one of those situations like you sign up and you, like, I don't know what they're called, you would probably, but that a lot of the senior citizens are not having to pay their mortgages any longer, but then when it's done and then they pass, those homes no longer are in their will, or they're not in any.
Oh, no. Well, okay, so you're thinking of reverse mortgages, right?
Right. I want to make sure that this has nothing to do with anything like any of those kind of things, because everybody's going to be like, okay, what's the angle here? And what you're sharing is that there is no angle. This is a real product that is insurance, and it's got a benefit, a rider.
While you're still living,
right,
when you need it most.
Right.
60% of families are going into bankruptcy and foreclosure because of medical. Someone has a heart attack or a stroke. People are trying to go back. We're living longer, which is amazing, right? But it's wiping people out financially. Right. So that's just a huge, that's my path. I don't know if I sounded like I was passionate about it, but I'm certainly.
No, you are. And that's okay, because I understand it. And I understand that that's exactly where you are. Okay. So do something today that your future self will thank you for. Sometimes the bad things that happen in our lives put us directly on the path to the best things that will ever happen to us. I grabbed these from your page because it goes along with this, and then the other aha that kind of brings us all together, and we talked about this in the closed group, and they were like, okay, we got to have her back. We just love her, because we at Chemo Buddies, of course, have declared 2020 to be the year of love. And we went into kind of that other side about the course of love and the book and everything. And you really do come from a place of love in your business life. This is a passion and a purpose and a calling, as you feel, and so much so that you have been securing domains, and you've decided to go forward with, you know, inspirational stories and all of this to back it up, to share and say, this is real. We can make a difference in people's lives. And right now, because I am doing the Service Hero Show and I'm dating them. So today is June the 18th, 2020. If this is in the future, look and see what was happening today. A lot of stuff. And this is something that people can still qualify for, right? And I want to recognize Eric Zulli. I did already bring it up, but it's good to see you and thank you. I like it too. It's a new look that we have come up with for the Service Hero Show. It's about time that it got a bit of a facelift. So, you know, I really want people to see your heart coming through, because it really does help when people see, because, and I will say this, there's people are going to be like, you're letting her talk about her business, because on Service Heroes, I don't usually do a lot of, and you actually asked even, and I appreciate that. However, you know, there are some businesses with service attached. I'm not against business. I have never said I'm against business. I am highlighting Service Heroes for what it is that I am recognizing them for being a service hero. And it so happens that our service hero today, also, I have to say, I thought this was really cool. She did one of those games, and yeah, she could take and kick some, you know, prisoner butt if they needed to, you know. Yeah, she's got a heart, and you can feel it from her, because yeah, she's got this passion, and so I wanted to let everybody know that while you're listening to this, that the energy and the excitement and the belief is coming through, and it is because she is on a mission. Like she said, she has been watching Chemo Buddies for Life. She's watched others and has seen too many lose. In my community, we hear about it all the time. Who is not going through something traumatic, and then they have to put out there for, you know, a fundraiser, and they're not a nonprofit. They're putting a fundraiser out because they're trying, it's a lifeline. You know, they're trying to just keep going. And so I wanted to just take a moment and validate what you're doing, in that I appreciate you sharing this information. And in fact, I asked you to come on today.
You did. Yeah, A Course of Love. You know, I've been on a journey now. Gosh, you know, a year ago, a couple of years ago, I actually got like shifted, right? And then really big, powerful things kind of happen a lot in the last 6 months. And I got introduced to A Course of Miracles, which is one book. And then A Course of Love follows the same, you know, concepts and mindsets within it. And it's actually like a secondary to The Course of Miracles, but 2 different authors, 2 different experiences. And just an amazing book. But I will tell you that my journey, having been exposed to this book since November, has really given me an opportunity. I think that, you know, my thing, I actually have this domain. It's not live yet, but it will be. Inspired to Action, the number 2, action. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just create a business page and not get caught up in a website. But inspired to the number 2 action.com, and I'm going to direct it to a business page. So watch for that. But I am really about wanting to even interview people that are inspired to action. Like, you know, what's their passion? Because there's a reason for me to want to do that, because I'm being directed in a different way, and I feel like it's heart-led, right? When we have our passion, that is what's moving us. No, you have a 3 in there.
Oh, see this.
Yeah.
That's why I have to look at it, because I'm doing
Yeah.
the trifocals here, guys, and it's very small. Okay, there we go. Let's see.
But yeah, so that'll be up and running here pretty soon. So just give me 24 hours.
Action.com, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so the thing about I look at is I really want to empower people, because I think that we get caught up into our black and white day. We got to do, and we just do what we think we should be doing. And yet we have that little voice inside of us, and we have something that is wanting to move us into a bigger, better place. But I think that because it's something that's not, we always want to doubt, we always question, or may want to doubt, because that's our ego getting in the way, but I really want to challenge people to start playing with, getting quiet and getting centered, and hearing what they're hearing from their heart, not what's in their head, and see where that takes you. There's a lot to be said about guidance and being heart led, and realizing, there's I don't feel like there's any accidents about anything, right? And this whole movement and what's going on just globally, and everything that we're all experiencing as a globe, there's unity in all of that, right? We could create segregation if we want, or we can look at it from an aspect of unity. So even having been separated and we had to do our own internal lockdown, look at the difference that happened. People were reaching out even through Zoom, or making those connections that they hadn't maybe for a long time, because we got caught up in our world, of 8 to 5, or, got to do, and be on that train of nowhere. When we arrive and we're, now 70, 80 years old, and then you're looking around and like, okay, what did I really do with my life? I think there's an opportunity that we get to step out of ourselves and be of service, and or be of service, however way that looks. It could be of service to your family, be of service to your community, be of service to people that you don't even know. And it could be just reading books, like this amazing realtor, Katie Evans. She's a beautiful heart, and she actually was reading to children. She was reading children's books. She was doing Zoom Live, or Facebook Live, and she would just do consistently with her time, and she was reading children's books to help entertain the kids that were on lockdown, right?
I love that.
I'm just saying, where in your heart, what is it that's speaking to you? It could be so small, and yet it can make such a big difference. It could be coffee and conversation, and set up a Zoom call, and just open up your Zoom room, and have coffee and conversation with anybody. Right?
And actually, I did post that you were the one that came up with that idea, and I am going to adopt it, because I have so many friends who've been wanting to get together, and you only have so much. Not that I want to say this wrong, but when you're building an organization at where we're at with Chemo Buddies, it's like, I want to get together with the friends. And when you had mentioned that, I thought, oh, brilliant, genius. And so I've actually asked a few friends, and they're like, oh yeah, party, we're going to do it. You want to do it with coffee? Or
well, I got, not been promoting, alcohol here, but we were doing, I had 3 happy hour events back to back, that, well, they were all going on at the same time. And and maybe in your younger years, you might be able to resonate with, what they call bar crawls, right? And so I was literally going, do one, and then just went to the next Zoom room and call it a Zoom crawl, apparently, but it was fun.
I love it, because, and this is where, guys, I love it when we can be real, look at things the way they are, and then find the humor and then solutions to be able to say, okay, maybe it's not happening like this, but now it's happening like that. And I have to say this right now. I have some of my friends from when I was growing up, and I don't think of myself in a certain way, but let's just say a few of them have gray hair now, and they're not in this world, and they actually are having the very first Zoom get together tomorrow night that I'm going to.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And they were so excited, you know, that they figured it out. They're going to do it. Everybody, you know, and that just let me know right there that anything is possible. Anything is possible if you really want to do it.
Well, and then think about the impact that you're having. Just that small gesture and how many, you know, however many people are going to be on, but then the excitement there, and who knows what's going on in their world right now, but you can make that one difference. You know, they say make a difference with a hug. You know, you could just making yourself available just for a conversation with somebody. I think is powerful, right? So there's so many ways to give, so many ways to give.
And I love the fact, and we were talking about this a few times ago, that, you know, when we were catching up with each other, we need more stories of inspiration, more stories of service, like service heroes, like inspired to action, like what James Zuli, Eric's dad, does, where he's on the radio and he's got a show, and he's talking about baby boomers that are, you know, making boomers, you know, baby boomers, and about how they're making a difference in the world. And every single story, every single person that gets out there and tells the story, like when Christopher Casson and Skip Thomas, did you not love them in the chat?
Oh my gosh, they were amazing. Absolutely.
And because she came, Michelle came in to Chemo Buddies for Life on Travel Tuesday and was a part of our chat with our organization. And we were kind of traveling in the mind and coming up with, and we were traveling through book titles and
amazing
all sorts of things. What did you think of that platform and in there?
You know, I really loved it because it, you know, I'm anything that has to do with mindset, heart set, right? Mind, you know, just it resonates for me, right? And, you know, and I think it gives an opportunity for people to realize that they can go within and feel empowered, that they can create those experiences for themselves. You know, but some people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And then they don't understand it. So I feel like, you know, anybody that, you know, even knows yoga will start a yoga class.
Right.
Do it for free. Do it on Zoom. Like, you know, like there's so many opportunities to create. And I'm going to post that link in Chemo Buddies for Life for the, you know, what I had said that my series are my playlist. So I'm going to share that with the group because they're just some beautiful videos. So
right.
Done today. But yeah, it's just, you know, I feel like we all just need to figure out where we can find joy. And when we can find joy, that grounds, you know, puts us into a place of, I feel joy. You know, if we can feel joy, and then we can feel gratitude, and then we could shift out of not being in despair, and we can then start looking at solutions. We can then go, okay, what are the solutions? And that we want to take on for ourselves, or maybe, you know, in caring for other people that are near and dear to us, and, you know, even making a shift to share with them things that you create for joy for yourself and sharing that with others, right? So
absolutely. And in fact, the time that you gave to the community, to the Chemo Buddies community, I mean, right there, that is service. That is service, because that was, you know, and you times that through as many people as were there live, and they were asking questions. They were like, okay, what was that again? And they're writing down. And then there's all this, even between, you know, the chatting hosts and then the chatting community, and they're sharing book titles. And you saw this whole, and, you know, of people that, and then we did stop the chat, and not to get into the specifics of what was talked about, but because it is a safe environment, but we have buddies that are facing, you know, trials, guys. I mean, if you're dealing with cancer for yourself or someone you love, and something is going on, and you have in a place that you can just say this, and then all things stop, and you focus, and then you you spend time, and then you go on. And we saw, I love it, because this is what always seems to happen. It's like a roller coaster. You start with this, and then you have an emotional thing, and someone shares, and then you're laughing all together, and then you're comparing notes, and then it's almost like everybody's kind of talking on top of each other because the excitement just happens. And that was, it was fun. Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a lot of love being shared, and a lot of service. And you know, I want to say thank you, because that right there is an example to everyone, now that we're talking about it publicly, of how people can serve. Is you know, find a nonprofit, or find a cause, find a purpose, tell the stories often, inspire others. We just changed our tag, inspiring stories of those inspiring others. And you know
what? There's a great book, if you don't mind. I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's called The 5-Second Rule. I think her name is Mel Roberts or something like that. But I encourage anybody to get that, because you know, there's things that pop in our head that is inspiration.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And if you just do, and if you hear it, feel it, and you do the 5-second rule that she talks about in her book, and you just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just take action, whatever that looks like. It could even just be getting on the phone to make the call, or you will find, and I just got God bumps, you will find that was inspiration coming from within, and being guided. I challenge that you, once you have that moment, give yourself 5 seconds, and don't let the ego, don't let your brain get in the way, and just take some sort of action. And I would love to hear those stories that come from that, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of power in implementing that one thing.
Yeah. You know, what I'm going to do, and I've been doing this recently, is I'm going to drop myself down from the line right now.
Sorry, my dogs.
Oh, no worries. Oh, I got a picture. I did capture the picture. I knew there was a reason for it. I know it was when he was a puppy, or her puppy, but you know, I love that picture. And so so much fun, dogs. You know, I'm going to drop myself down from the line. I'm going to give you a few moments to just share a nugget, something that you might feel inspired to say, and then I'll bring myself back up and we'll close out the show. You know, Michelle, I'm not sure that anybody's hearing you. I don't know if something happened to your sound. Oh, there we go. Okay, are you there? Say something now. I'm trying to figure out. You were muted.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to
sorry
down now.
That was the nugget.
Don't worry.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me on your show again. It's been several years, and I just really appreciate you and feel very honored and blessed. But where I was going with was mindset. I really think it's important, especially in this current elements that we're dealing with right now is giving yourself an opportunity and permission to give yourself some time to, early in the morning, even if it's, 10 minutes earlier than you normally get up, give yourself some quiet opportunity to put yourself in a place of joy. And even if in the middle of the day you have a disrupt, give yourself permission to take a minute and step away from whatever is going on and find an opportunity to find joy. Whether it's on a YouTube, finding, giggling babies or cute kittens or puppies, time-lapse videos, which is my thing that I do. I think it's really important that we can get ourselves to a place to joy, because when we get to joy, then we can come from gratitude. And we can start realizing that, where we are right now today is where we are. And it's designed for us to give us an opportunity to either be there for other people or be there to where we can persevere. And then taking those experiences, look at all the experiences I've had when I was going through my challenges, and I'm able to bring that forward, and because I learned skill sets, I could able to teach that to others. So that's all I would recommend, is taking that opportunity. If you want to get in touch with me, you're welcome to reach out to my website. And then I also have, if I could figure out what I did with that page, my phone number. You can call or text me, which is 602-935-4333. Again, 602-935-4333. And I appreciate you all. Thank you.
And thank you. We are in the middle of learning a few new things, guys. And so, in fact, I thanked Michelle for coming on today, because she was gracious enough. And again, another service hero trait. I said, okay, I'm doing some new stuff, and so I'll be with a friend. And so thank you for playing with me in the fact that it's time. We need to really be making a serious effort to share inspiring stories. We need to be about serving others. We really, truly need to be lead by example. Service is actually a lead by example kind of an attitude and skill. It is something that we need to be seeing more of, and we need to see it even that much. You think, oh no, random act of kindness, I'm supposed to do that quiet. No, not right now. We're shouting it from the rooftops. Now more than ever, we need people that are going to step up, make a difference, and let others know, and then encourage them to do the same thing. And that is exactly what you're doing, Michelle. And so thank you for being here with us today on the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then any of the buddies, we do have Thankful Thursday tonight, and Carol Brown will be joined tonight for her very first time in production, in the production chair. It will be Sherry McQueen, and the two of them within our closed community chat will be the leaders of the chat, the hosts of the chat for Thursday night. Thank you very much. And thank you for finding us here on our new page, the home of the Service Hero Show. Bye.
Bye, everyone.